everyone. Thank you again for coming again. For this tutorial, I'd like to talk about multiple application classes within your program, because the good thing about Java is that it allows you to have so many classes which you can actually use in a project. So if you have a model view control type of application, you have the view, you have the model, and then you have the control part of the application. So you have some people who will be able to, the view is basically the presentation area, and some people will be good at presenting, creating application to make it friendly and presentable to the users, while some people are really good with programming. So they'll probably go on the control side of the program, and also the model side of the program. So you can have so many people working on the project from so many different angles, and then in the end what you have to do is put it together and call it within the project and use all the stuff that they've done. So you can have a project where you have more than one class, or you can call one class from the other. So as I said, we are going to create a program where we can use multiple classes and see how it works. Okay, so we are going to use our RDE, as I mentioned before in my previous tutorial about installing RDEs, that it makes it easy to manage. So in a situation where you've got so many classes within a project, you want to use your IDE, otherwise you're just gonna mess up and it's going to be crazy trying to run your application. Okay, so to begin with, let's go to File. Hold on for a minute. To begin with, let's go to File, New, and once it loads up, we want to go for Java and just Java application. Click on Next and type in time, and make sure you've got it in the location where you want it, and in my case I'm going to put it in some place where I want it to be. Okay, so that's where I want it to be. Okay, and now I'm just going to say say create and finish, and then it will just create a project. Okay, so a project has been created called time, and it's giving us a main class here, as you can see here. So we will try and work on it and see how what we can do with it. So by the time class is not going to be our main class, so we will eventually get rid of the static void main. Like I said, when you run Java, Java looks for the main class to run the program. If you don't have any main class in your program, it won't work at all. So for now, we are going to create another file, which will be our test program, or the main, which will contain the main thing of our program. So let's go to just right click your project, New. So right click the project and click on Java class, New, then Java. Look for the project name and source location. Package is time. It's already there, so just choose the same package, and make sure location where you created your first one, and just give it as time. Hold on for a minute. It's TIMETEST. Test. Okay, so now we go at test.java. If we go back to now test.java, this is where our point of test is. So let's type public static void main um and let's close it. Okay, so this is where we'll be running our main sorry, get rid of the, because it already closed it for us. So this is where we'll be running our tests from. Let's save it. Shift S will save it. Oops. Control S will save it. And let's go ahead and carry on. So inside the time class, we want to import the java.test decimal format, and that will help us to put when the timing into decimal places. So it's a what is it? It's a package that, or a library that Java has already created to make it easier for anyone who wants to do something like this. So that's what these inputs libraries are useful for. We are also importing the Java x.swing, because we want to use the swing packaging library in Java here as well. Okay, for this class as well, I think it's a good example to do cover a bit on constructors, because for my next applications, I think we'll be going into it in depth and maybe doing something a little bit bigger than this. So I really want to cover it as well. For this timing, we've got variables, private variables, and these private variables basically when you are creating classes or Java applications, big applications, and for security issues, we companies tend to use protected variables or private variables, because basically for security issues. For us, we are doing it because we don't want any other class to access our variables. It can only be accessed within our thing, and it's global variables, so that it can be used everywhere, anywhere, within any method, or constructors below us. Okay, then we have constructors. What are constructors? So what are constructors? Constructors is basically used to okay, so constructors are used when we make an instance of a class. It is you when you create classes with constructors, you create it exactly the same name as the class, like I've got here. The first constructor I have no parameters, so it must have a constructor with no parameter. The rest of it must contain parameters of different parameters. For example, this one has 3 parameters, and this one has 1 parameter, the other one has 2 parameters. And when we get on to the other class, we will get to understand why we are doing this. For example, this one parameter will set the hour, whilst the other one was used to set minutes, hour, minutes, and seconds of timing. And then we've got the set method here, which we will use to perform validation. So we get these values from the users, the hour, minute and second from the user, and then we validate it. If it's less or equal to zero, sorry, greater or equal to 0 and less than 24, so then that means it's correct. Then that means we will set the variable hour to whatever the user has entered. Otherwise hour is 0, and then we do exactly the same thing with the minute and the second. We validate it that way. Okay, so yeah, so then we've got the constructor here to just display the time, and this is how we want to display into the small places format. So we say return 2 digits format to hour. This is how we want it, and then we want to display hour and then minute. Then we put what's it called, a colon in the middle, and then another 2 of that, and then the second. I think you know what I mean. And then when we get time from the user, so when we get time from the program to display to the user, this is how we want it to display. Like, we do a validation check. Hold on for a minute. So we make an instance of the next in our timing class. We are using the set time construct method to perform some validations. We want to make sure that hour is greater than 0, and also our input from the user is also less than 24. So it has to, in this condition, in this if statement, we want to make sure that both sides of the n is correct. So what the input in of hour enter from by the user, it has to meet both these conditions. The same thing with the minute, and the same thing with the second, else we will set it to 0. Then this is how we want to display the time in this format: hour, minute and second. And we want to also display in another format, like if it's AM or PM, using the get time method to the user. Okay, now let's move on to the other thing. So that the other class, as you can see, is the main class that we are using to run our program. Okay, so in the test class, which is our main class, we get to see the good use of constructors here. So we are doing all this in a do while loop, and we assign some variables to or objects, make an instance of that time class, and we initialize it using the constructors. So it's like an instance of the, we use the constructors to make an instance of that class so we can use it. So we are giving it the values we said we would. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is just give it a quick run again to see that what we just said is what it's doing. So we are running it, hopefully. It's coming. So constructor with no argument, that's the first. So is the constructor with no argument give us nothing. Then is the first one value that we give to the user, which is 12, 25, and 12 hours, 25 minutes, 42 seconds. Then it says all invalid values specified. So because it's invalid, it's set it to 0. And constructor with hour specified, just the 12 hours. Then constructor with hour and minute only, that's the 12 and 25 minutes. Display time in standard format. Give us a chance to display again. Hold on. Yeah, so we are assigning the what do you call it? The instant copies that we've made of the time class variables, like we go out 12 for hour, 25 minutes, and 42 seconds. Then we are testing it to make sure that we give it invalid values like 25, 76, and 99, and then another set of 3 values and another set of values. Then we are using the J option pane to display. So for the string variable that we got, the output there at the top, we say constructor with no arguments. We display what we have to display. Then the constructor with the 3 arguments. That's the second instance. So we say constructor with hour, minute, and second specified. We display that. Then we test the invalid values. We display that to the user as well. And then the constructor with just hour specified. We display that. Then this one is the constructor with and this one is constructor with the hour and minute displayed. That's why we got 12, 25 here and 12, 0, 0, 0 there. Anyway, so what else? Okay, and then we want to display in the format of the get method. We want to display in the format if it's 4 p.m. or a.m. So we are using the get method to do this. Doing the first one, the second says display time in standard form, and then we ask the user, do you want to do this again? And then we give the user another chance. As long as the answer is equals to yes, that's capital Y, capital small y, or small y, it's either this or that one, then we give the person a chance. You keep on doing this until it's something else, as long as it's this. Alright then. So we are going to give it a quick run again. Constructor with no argument, constructor with invalid values, and 1 hour, the hour and the minute, and it displays it in AM format for constructor with no argument, AM format for hour, minute, and seconds, invalid values in AM. Okay, so basically that's it. And if you want to say yes, it will run it again. Say yes, and it runs it again all over again. Yeah, I know. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. I'm gonna put the codes in my blogger so you can copy it, and if you like it, give me a thumb up. So please subscribe and also comment and rate it for me as well. And then I think from here, I think we're going to do a bigger um, project application for the next one. So do come back and see how it goes. Sorry about the noise. I've got a baby sleeping. That's why you can hear the baby snore. So sorry about the noise. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll put all the information in the description. I hope to see you in the next one. Okay, see ya. Bye bye.